Welcome back, guys! Well, spring is here and I have definitely caught the organization bug. So if you're like me and have a few things that you need to organize for your craft space, stick around. Whatever you craft, you probably have more than a few items that need organizing. And having everything nice and neat and organized is less time that you're going to spend looking for those items and more time you could spend actually crafting. So today I'm going to take you step by step on what I did and the solutions that I used to organize my crafting space because I know these solutions will work for you. The first step is pre-planning. Decide what you have that needs organizing. Do you have a lot of fabric and thread? Maybe you need something for Copic markers and scrapbooking. Make a list of storage solutions that apply to your specific needs and start from there. Now, you don't have to run out to IKEA or load up on that Amazon shopping cart. You can find a lot of these solutions at your local dollar store or even find things that can be repurposed from around your house. This is especially helpful if you're on a budget like me. But of course, if money is not an option, then by all means, go for that special look you're looking for and buy the things that you want. Remember, this crafting space is supposed to be your happy space where you can come and feel inspired. So definitely make sure to fill it with all the things that make you happy. Now is a great time to go ahead and take that before picture. Being able to look back and see the before and after picture will really prove to yourself how much hard work you actually put into it and kind of build your self-confidence. The next thing I did was separate all of my items into categories and piles. I placed the thread in one pile, setting all my fabric together, and another, rounding up all my patterns, paints, markers, etc. Some groups already had clear containers to store everything in. Like I have a tackle box that I bought years ago. It's in good condition. It really just needed to be cleaned up and organized. But for anything that I didn't have a storage solution for that I was lacking, I went ahead and put it down on my list so that I would know to pick that up later. Next, I took time to go through each and every one of my piles, and honestly, this took the longest amount of time. I wanted to make sure that I discarded anything that was broken or unusable, and if there was something that I didn't see myself using, but it was still in really good condition, I put it in a donation pile so that someone else could get some use out of it or could use it. Give yourself enough time for this step because it kind of takes a while. And even if it does take a while, you'll be really happy that you did because it really helps to make sure that everything you have is things that you are excited to use and excited to have in your crafting space and your crafting area. I actually had such a huge pile of fabric that I was actually kind of dreading going through it, and I know that I have a problem looking at my fabric objectively. Will I use it? Will I not use it? So I ended up asking some friends for help so that we could kind of go through and they could keep me honest about whether I would use something or whether it was something that I wouldn't use but maybe someone else could, or whether it was really just scrap and should be thrown out. I had an embarrassing amount of scrap that I was like, maybe, but no, I never used it for anything. So big shout out to them for keeping me honest and keeping me on track with that part of the process. It was a huge help. And if you're in the same situation where maybe you have a part of your project that's difficult for you to look at objectively, remember it's always okay to ask someone for help and maybe they can help you figure out what it is you really want to keep, what it is you're really excited about working with, and maybe what it is you can kind of let move along, you know? So the next step was to go ahead and put up the shelf. We found a pre-painted shelf, which was great because I wanted to keep that light palette. Went ahead and got 4 brackets because I knew I was going to store very heavy things on the shelf and I wanted to make sure that it was going to be able to hold all of that. So we took them and using a stud finder, we just put them directly into the studs, and all 4 of the brackets have the shelf feeling extremely sturdy, and I feel very happy and confident that I can store my books, patterns, whatever I need to on there, and it's going to do the job. If you're gonna put up a similar shelf and you don't have heavy things that are going on it, you probably don't need to put as many brackets in. So I then had to wipe my desk off again from building the shelf because I didn't think that far ahead. But now with everything nice and clean, I started to place my machines. I wanted them to be conveniently close to outlets, so I made sure to arrange them that way. And then I also remembered that I had this thread organizer that I had spray painted white to keep it that nice clean look, and I went ahead and put that on the wall. Now I use these really cool command strips. They're like damage-free hanging strips. They come in two parts. They kind of like click together, and they hold up to 16 pounds and are really easy to use. This is not sponsored, I just really like them. I use them to hang my project board, and it's still up there after like 2 years. So yeah, if you're renting or you need a solution where you're not putting like holes in your walls, this might actually work for you. So go get you some command strips. So the next thing I did was I pulled out some of my favorite patterns as well as patterns that I was using for upcoming projects, and I went ahead and loaded them into this really cute purple bin. That way I could like easily reach the patterns if I needed to. I didn't have to go into the big bin to get them. And also they would kind of keep me inspired and keep me motivated for that next project that I was working. I decided to place them on the new shelf that we built right next to my reference materials, like my art books and any kind of tutorial books and pattern books that I had purchased that I really like. I actually found a really cute magazine holder that holds my ever-growing collection of Kamui tutorial books, because they're a little bit thinner and they're hard to stand on their own, but they fit really well into this magazine holder, and there's plenty of room for me to add more tutorial books down the road, so that's very exciting for me. Supplies that I don't need all of the time, but I do have a lot of, are easy to neatly store in some cute little boxes that I purchased at Michael's a while back. So I decided to just place those on the shelf as well, since I wouldn't be getting into them often, but I thought they looked really cute here, so. And then there were some really great jars that were just perfect for storing like beads, gemstones, and other small little crafting materials. I put some labels on them, and I just think they look so cute, and they're like really fun, so I left those on the shelf as well. And of course, I have a special place for my partner in crime, Geishel. He was originally, I tried to name him after Geschel Greens from Final Fantasy that you feature Chocobo, but I pronounced it wrong, and so now his name is Geishel. So, hi Geishel! Any fabric that was for an upcoming cosplay or an upcoming project, I went ahead and found storage for them inside my crafting space. But as I said, my crafting space is really small. So any fabric that wasn't specifically for a project that was coming up got sorted into two bins. One was heavy fabric and one was, you know, not heavy fabrics, and I went ahead and labeled those two large bins, and I stored them in a storage solution that I had that wasn't inside my crafting space. This way I can always go out and grab them anytime I need them, but they're not going to be like in my way. I'm really excited that I can always grab them whenever I want, but I don't have mountains and mountains of fabric surrounding me while I'm trying to work on current projects. That will feel heavenly. I'm very excited about that. I placed the rest of the storage containers in the cabinet and made sure to put tiny touches of things that make me feel happy throughout my space, like this cute little unicorn pen holder and my adorable chocobo clock. He's helping me count down to the next expansion, which I'm very excited for. And done. I'm so happy that I actually did this. I can go forward with this clean crafting slate and plenty of space to grow and accomplish all of my goals. Here's hoping this video helped you on your own journey to create your own perfect crafting space. Do you have any organizational tips that have worked great for you? Feel free to discuss them in the comments section down below. That way everyone can feel the cleanly goodness. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more crafting and cosplay related content. Until next time, bye! And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more